Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. Today is the 13th of November. Yesterday, a friend of mine asked me about whether they should buy more Solana right now, whether it would be a good idea to buy more Solana right now or not. And so in today's video, we're going to take a stroll down Solana lane. I promise you nothing, but I will deliver as much as I possibly can. Well, let's have a look at Solana, where it's at, where it might be going, whether it's a good idea to buy Solana right now or anything else for that matter, to be quite honest with you. And we're going to look at the markets, we're going to look at the charts and a bunch of other things related to Solana and the market in general. So make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, of course, do all of those wonderful things, and let's get going. Market cap is presently sitting at $3.5 trillion. It continues to teeter on the verge of this. We were at $3.6 trillion yesterday. About $100 billion of the market money has been siphoned back out. Bitcoin still sitting at 57.7% dominance. Ethereum still at 11.8% dominance. Trading volume is $165 billion. 1111 coin is on a trading list with a 49% pump, 43% pump. No idea what that is. Audieria with 138% pump. Also, no idea what that is. By the way, Meowcoin is also pumping, but I'll get to that in just a second. Bitcoin presently at $101,000. So that's not looking great, considering that it was 105 or 6 almost just a couple of days ago, or maybe just even yesterday. Ethereum at $3,400. Solana, 153, sliding down as well. On the 1 hour, bit of a pump, but over the past 7 days, quite obviously a dump. Cardano at 54 cents. Zcash back up at 534. Litecoin 98. Monero 384. Toncoin 202. Uniswap has overpassed Polkadot with the announcement of something rather. I can't remember what it was. Voting rights for the public. And Polkadot at 293. Uniswap had a nice pump of 40%, so everybody piled back into that coin. Meowcoin has had a listing, so the coin is pumping like mad. It went up all the way to quadruple or triple 012, retraced back down a little bit to 87, but over the past 3 days, we saw 3 days solid pumps on this token. I have my buy order set here for quadruple 055. Whether it's going to reach that mark again, not sure. But Meowcoin is pumping. It's been the best performing coin on some markets here. Top gainers. So I think this is on a new exchange that they were listed on, which was a new exchange just added. This was a community poll as well. This was based out of community donations, which is pretty unusual, I think. This is like OG stuff. Back in the day when projects were just starting, there was a lot of community-driven listing happening, and Meowcoin still manages to do that. Community pulled together, and they've got a second listing. So right now, Meowcoin is available on non-KYC and Bitcoin Try, which I don't know what the exchange is. I've never looked at it, but let's have a quick look at Bitcoin Try right now. The logo looks similar to Bybit. White and kind of, what is it, goldish brown. Similar setup to Bybit as well, but with the exception that it does have Meowcoin on it. And it's presently trading at quadruple 09 Bitcoin Try and slightly less on non-KYC. So there is a bit of an opportunity for arbitrage, tiny little sliver of arbitrage, like minuscule, between those two exchanges. Nonetheless, it's here. So let's have a look at the charts on the big screen today. Solana. This is the chart of Solana. Solana launched on August 20, 2020. According to TradingView, this was that's as far as they go, I guess. This is on Binance, so I assume that this is the most recent data. It launched for a price tag of about $4, and then it dipped very quickly to less than $1. My goodness. And then, of course, over the duration of the year, it pumped all the way up to $252. And this is pretty much the price tag that we see for Solana right now. Solana managed to reclaim that all-time high just a couple of months ago. if we're at $2,297. And so this is where we are at for Solana. So Solana has broken just slightly above its all-time high at $302. The previous all-time high was at 261 or something like that. And right now it's sitting at $153. Pulling up the Fibonacci, this is the discount Fibonacci retracement on the weekly chart. Solana is presently sitting at the 50% discount mark. So just to let you understand, this is Fibonacci retracement that is divided into 100% basically, and it is pulled from the lowest point to the highest point of the asset. And so the bottom part is kind of the 75% discount zone. So if you buy Solana within this range, you're buying it for about a 75% discount compared to its overall all-time high price. Up until this point right here, you're buying this coin for about a less than 75% discount. Over here, this is the 75% discount zone. Over here, you've got it at 50%, a 50% discount. And over here, it's a 25% discount above this line or below this line, right? So right now, we're sitting at the 50% discount right now. All-time high was at $300 almost, yeah, 300 and something dollars, and we're sitting at 153 right now. So is it a good time to buy Solana? According to this, it's not a bad time to buy Solana. I mean, it would have been a lot better if you were able to buy Solana at the 75% discount here, if you were buying Solana in April, or even if you had bought it in December of 2023. But if you were looking at this year, April 2025 would have been a good time to buy it, obviously. That you could have still made some profits. Right now, we are sitting on this line, and the future of Solana is kind of, well, we're not sure where the market's going. So that's the problem, right? We're not sure where the market's going. But this is the temporary, this is on the short term. When looking at the long term, though, when you pull up, I drew a parallel channel, and the parallel channel neatly connects the bottoms, all the bottoms here that we had, and the present bottom right now. And when you draw it up, it connects with the top right here. So basically, you draw a line along the bottoms, connecting all the bottoms, and then you extend it all the way to the tops. And when you look at that, we are looking at Solana being at the bottom of this chart, and it neatly trajects here at the 75 or the 50% discount and the bottom line. And the trajectory for Solana is looking pretty nifty. So for the long run, we could be looking at a $500,000 or even $1 million worth Solana if we were looking at this chart. Of course, this is just a chart, but basically based on this parallel channel, we should see Solana pump further all the way up to $20,000 and beyond. This is not going to happen this year, but according to these charts, according to this channel, Solana should be going in that direction. And when you look at charts, like I said it before, all the charts, when you look at charts, any charts of any market, they go in an upward moving trajectory. They start low and they will continue slowly, but over time, when you look at a large number of years, all the charts tend to go in an upward moving trajectory. And so this is maybe the same thing for Solana. We're going to see it going in an upward moving trajectory over time, but this is going to take years. It's a very different scenario on Bitcoin. The chart is got a humpback look, and you would presume that instead of a chart looking, like this, the Bitcoin chart is looking like this. And there are many indicators that basically show the lines going like this. The minute talk about diminishing returns and all that stuff. Problem with this is that since all charts tend to go up over time, I presume that what we are seeing on Bitcoin is probably something like this. We're going to see over time, and this little hump will eventually begin to look like this with time, but it's going to take years because, again, the traditional markets have been around for hundreds of years, well, maybe not couple of hundred years. Bitcoin has been around for barely 2 decades, and so this is why we're seeing a chart that is relatively new and unusual compared to other charts. Presently on the weekly, we're seeing Bitcoin trying to break or attempting to break below this level, although it's on the weekly it is within the 2 Fibonacci levels that I discussed before, and it can't seem to break above that. It can't seem to break above the 106,000 level or below the $100,000 level. So this is the support, this is the resistance on the weekly. On the daily, it's a similar situation. It's the same Fibonacci retracement, and we've got Bitcoin testing this level right here. This is the, my goodness, this is the 7th. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is almost the 9th. 9 times this level has been tested, retested, 100,000. So this is pretty solid support for the time being. And hopefully we are going to see a nice last run before the end of the year for Bitcoin, and hopefully reaching the all-time high or breaking above that even. Okay, let's move on to Solana. So Solana total locked value is sitting at $9.9 billion, which is a lot of money. So the overall value of Solana locked is at $9 billion. It stood at $13.2 billion just this past September. October we saw the all-time high for a lot of coins, and that was the sell-off time. Apparently it seems like things have cooled down a little bit towards November, and we're not sure if this is the end of the bull run. We might see a last hooray, but definitely things are cooling off a little bit. In terms of Solana, about 64 million Solana have been staked or locked off, and actually the number of Solana that has been locked off is increasing. So despite the fact that the value of Solana locked up has dropped, the number of actual Solana that is being locked up is increasing. And so the reason why there is a discrepancy between that is because the value price tag for Solana has dropped. So obviously this TVL in USD has dropped, despite the fact that the actual number of Solana have been locked up. So that's a good thing. That's a good metric. A lot of people are staking Solana. They're locking Solana up. It's not being traded. People are putting it into different DeFi protocols in order to make additional gains in Solana. Some news regarding Solana. Nasdaq traded Solana company plans to tokenize shares via Super State. Solana company intends to tokenize shares of Super State's Opening Bell, a regulated platform enabling companies to move stocks on chain. Investors will be able to hold and transfer tokenized representations of its shares. Investors will potentially have around the clock access to trading. The company rebranded from Helios Medical Technologies in September. Solana drops 4.9%, breaking below key support as Alameda unlocks continue. There's Alameda invested heaps and heaps of cash into Solana, and they are still holding wax of it for people, and so they need to be unlocked. Here's what's driving the sell-off. Solana slipped nearly 5% to $153, breaking key support despite 336 million in weekly ETF inflow. So there is a bunch of money that are flowing into the Solana ETFs, but the price is dunked. Alameda Research unlocked another 193,000 worth of Solana, worth 30 million, adding selling pressure as part of ongoing bankruptcy distributions. Technical breakdowns below 156 triggered heavy volume and confirmed bearish momentum, though ETF inflows suggest longer-term accumulation. So there is money that is being put into Solana for long-term holders, but short-term Solana has dipped partially due to the fact that the Alameda unlock is taking place and a lot of money is being released onto the markets. Despite this, institutional interest remains strong. Solana-based ETFs recorded 336 million in inflows this week, their 10th straight day of net gains. Major institutions including Rothschild Investment and PNC Financial Services added exposure, while Grayscale introduced options trading for its Solana Trust ETF to expand hedging tools for professional traders. Would-be 2 billion Solana treasury company stock crashes after share offering. Public traded brain machine firm and planned Solana treasury Vision says AI announced a stock offering. Now it's down 88% in the last week. Vision says AI announced a new direct offering, which it expects to grant around 12 million in proceeds. VSA shares have crashed more than 77% on Wednesday amid the news, now changing hands at 0 to 9. The firm announced its intention to create up to a $2 billion Solana treasury in October, but no purchases have been announced. So, partially part of the pump that we saw on Solana was probably due to announcements like this, people waiting for the company to make big and so push Solana price even up higher. But since this failed, that's why we see a bit of a retracement on Solana. Solana active addresses fall to 12 months low as Memecoin frenzy fades. The number of active addresses on Solana has declined to 3.3 million, marking a 12-month low and representing a significant retreat from the network's peak of over 9 million active addresses in January. So that's a huge dip. Active addresses measured in unique addresses that signed transactions surged through late 2024 as Solana established itself as the dominant chain for Memecoin launches and trading, offering faster speeds and lower costs compared to Ethereum. Obviously, the more people hold Solana, the more it's being used, the higher its value is. And since the Memecoin frenzy is dumped, not as many people are trading meme coins anymore, and so the huge number of addresses retraced is probably due to the fact that there are a lot fewer addresses trading meme coins, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Despite declining active addresses, Solana continues expanding its product infrastructure. The network is building out new decentralized exchanges, predicting markets and real-world asset protocols, while DeFi total value locked stands at about 10 billion. Right now it's about $9 billion, as I just mentioned, led by protocols including Jupiter, Camino, and Jito. The development activity surges suggests efforts to establish more durable foundations beyond speculative trading. Yakovenko says Solana handles Ethereum's lifetime transactions in a month. Solana co-founder says the network's single-layer design processes more transactions in a month than Ethereum does in its lifetime. So these are some massive claims, and we know that Ethereum is the biggest proof of stake ecosystem right now, but Solana is definitely on the verge of giving Ethereum a run for its money. Solana Labs co-founder believes the network's single-layer design is setting new performance standards in blockchain. According to him, Solana handles more transactions in a month than Ethereum could process in a lifetime. So these are massive statements. This is what belief is for Solana. So it's not a project that is, sitting on the sidelines, and definitely is being worked on. Here's a quick little chart of Solana monthly returns for the year 2025. Unfortunately, it ends in October and in April. But in 2025, September, October, November were the best returning months for Solana. October this year was not a very good month for anybody. For Bitcoin in particular, I think it was in a red month. So we've got November, December. December historically was not a very good month. So we're looking at possibly November having a bit of a run up, and hopefully we'll see something good in December. But yeah, I think November may be our last month to cash in and then call in the chips and get the hell out of here. So these are the updates for Solana. Is Solana a good hold? I think it is. For the time being, right now, Solana may be going through a retracement phase, obviously. And we're maybe seeing it right now, taking a breather. And quite frankly, right now, I'm not sure to say, I wouldn't dare to say that it's a good time to buy anything right now, because the market's not looking very good. I think any investments done right now will be very risky, because you are running the chance of making some additional money, yet the market could continue into 2026. There are a lot of people talking about the extended bull market, that this is going to continue into the first, second, and third quarter of 2026. Which would be unprecedented, because we were expecting the end of the bull market to take place towards the end of 2025, and this is kind of what I'm gunning for as well. But there are those who are saying that the 4-year cycles are over, that the bull market will continue into 2026, that there are no more 4-year cycles, and we're going to see dips like this, retracements, and pumps. But it's going to be a gradual increase in the market. And then there are those who are saying that there will be a massive retracement in 2026, in the early phases of 2026. And that's the philosophy that I'm leaning towards as well. So to say that now would be a good time to purchase, I wouldn't venture. It's a risk. It may pan out. It may pan out that you might still make massive gains towards the end of this year. And in the first 2 quarters of the second year of the next year, 2026, but you also stand a chance of losing a lot of money when the markets crash in the beginning stages of 2026. So this is, right now, it's a risky investment. It comes with a lot of risk. To add salt to injury, Morgan Stanley warns that gold's biggest rival is entering fall season. Morgan Stanley strategist says gold's biggest rival is in its fall stage. Analysts remain divided on whether gold's biggest rival, Bitcoin, is merely in a correction phase or if a new bear market has already begun. Bitcoin briefly fell to 99,000 before bouncing back on November 5th. The move pushed it under its 365-day moving average, according to Julio Moreno, head of research at CryptoQuant. Breaching this average has traditionally signaled a shift in sentiment toward the bearish side. Recently, investment strategists from Morgan Stanley weighed in on the speculated bearish phase for Bitcoin. There is still a lot of hope. A lot of people are hoping. Will Bitcoin end the year above 126,000 all-time high? Analysts split on breakout odds. Some believe the groundwork for another breakout is still in place. Others caution that the market may be facing strong resistance. Bitcoin's bull markets have unfolded with a similar pattern of a breakout above the previous all-time high, followed by months of sideways movement before the next leg higher. After each major breakout, Bitcoin spent roughly 8 to 11 months digesting those gains. Those pauses have not been signs of exhaustion, but rather moments of accumulation before new price discoveries. Today, Bitcoin once again sits in that familiar zone. It has cleared the 2021 all-time high and is now consolidating in a pattern that mirrors the start of past expansion phases. The timing, structure, and volume behavior are largely consistent with those of previous cycles. Historically, these periods of relative calm have preceded some of Bitcoin's strongest rallies. Ash Crypto once again spotted a trend. Bitcoin's weekly chart shows on an orderly climb within a broad ascending channel, a rare balance between bullish momentum and disciplined correction. Every surge has been followed by a measured pullback, typically between 20 to 33%, before resuming the upward trend. This controlled rhythm underscores the maturity of the current bull market. Bitcoin has repeatedly rebounded from its channel support, suggesting strong institutional buying each time the price dips toward key moving averages. The area around 100,000, which now, like I said before, has been probed 9 times by now, has now become a battleground and region where short-term sentiment meets long-term conviction. If this holds, history suggests that Bitcoin could be preparing for another meaningful leg higher, potentially aiming for 126,000 to even 150,000 range within the next major upswing. But as of now, the market is split. CZ teases institutional FOMO as JP Morgan increases stake in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. So despite the fact that JP Morgan is now talking about winter coming or fall coming, CZ, they're still putting money into their Bitcoin ETFs. So on one side, they're saying, be careful, and on the other side, they're creating FOMO. Be careful what the bankers are telling you, because they're bankers. They're out for their own interests and not for yours. They don't care about what you do. They will tell you one thing to create FOMO. You bunch in, and then they dump on your asses. Following reports that JP Morgan has increased its Bitcoin ETF holdings, Binance founder CZ Peng has predicted an influx of retail institutional interest in the largest cryptocurrency. Despite the upbeat prediction, new data indicate that the shares of Bitcoin treasury companies have tanked in recent days amid a broad crypto market correction. US investment banking giant JP Morgan Chase has increased its holding of BlackRock's iShares BitTrust by 68%. in a strong show of support for the premier cryptocurrency. According to a recent filing with the SEC, JP Morgan now holds 5,284,190,000 shares of IBIT, a significant increase from its 3.21 million shares. Looks like they're piling in on the Bitcoin ETF shares. One thing that caused the recent retracement is the missing October jobs data. Apparently, those are never to be released, which sends Bitcoin and other crypto hard. The White House confirmed Wednesday that the key U.S. economic indicators, including October's consumer price and jobs reports, are unlikely to ever be released, sparking volatility across crypto and traditional markets alike. So the government, the U.S. gov, is still locked on lockdown. 6 weeks ongoing. The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system, with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released. Lavid added to the absence of official data is leaving our policymakers and the Fed flying blind and at a critical period, underscoring the disruption caused by the government shutdown now in its 6th week. This is a massive nightmare, but this is basically what's causing the downturn. And so back to the idea of Solana. Even Strategy hasn't purchased any additional Bitcoin, same number as yesterday, so no new purchases. So to answer the question, to conclude the question on Solana, is it a good time to buy Solana or not? Honestly, I would say maybe not so much. I mean, it is 50% at a 50% discount compared to where it was at its all-time high. But with the sentiment, with the market sentiment right now, for now, I would still hold off. We are not seeing any signs that Bitcoin or any other asset is going to break out anytime soon. Bitcoin is struggling with this support line here at $100,000. There is a bit of, money flowing out of the markets, but despite the fact that banks are piling in, obviously ETFs are booming, the DeFi ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem, and companies continue to develop, they continue to build. So nothing's changed, and yet we see markets tank and we see prices retrace. There's a lot more negative announcements coming out. There's a lot more money flowing out, and we're coming towards the end of the traditional 4-year cycle, which means that a lot of people I know are still uncertain of whether this is going to go past the 4-year cycle, whether we are in a new bull market and then the 4-year cycles are over. Nobody really knows. People are saying that this is what's happening, but we don't know, because historically Bitcoin has been pretty good with keeping track of the, keeping intact, the 4-year cycles intact. So it's hard to break out of these patterns. Psychologically, people are hard pressed to just all of a sudden abandon the strategy that has been implemented and that has worked over the past 16 years, right? Since 2009. So you can't just simply expect people to all of a sudden abandon their ideals. This is the mess that I usually have. First halving, second halving, third halving. We are in the 4th halving right now. This is my messy chart, and it's hard to see. It's very hard to see, which is why I have it turned off, and I only look at it when I zoom in on the daily, because otherwise it's just chaos. But so these halvings took place, and it has been a very regular progression of things, which is why people have been making money hands over fist, because it was so easy to follow if you jumped into the pattern very quickly. And now we would be looking at a halving taking place somewhere here, and unfortunately we are being told that that is no longer happening. This is my potential time to bull run top. This would be it, and so we're looking at this right now. We may be going past it, we may be going before it. This could have been a top. We could be seeing the end days of the bull run and sliding back into the bear market. So what's going to happen up until December? We are still going to look at, I guess, the markets, and November and December will be the telling months. I personally am setting myself up for a bailout at the beginning of next year, and hopefully that's a smart decision. But again, is it smart to buy Solana right now? Personally, I wouldn't do it, but don't take my word for it, because if the market pumps, don't come crying to me later saying that I said not to buy. So like I said, it's a very risky investment right now, and it's all up to you. Wear your big boy pants, as Ivan on Tech always says. You gotta wear your big boy pants, and then take it, deal with the outcomes later, but it's on you. Your investments are yours. I am not a financial advisor, so whatever I say here is just that the data that I present to you, it's educational, for educational purpose. That's it for today. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Ref links are below the video. I'm not even going to talk about the wallets and the books. All of that stuff is below the video. If you did like this video, then do let me know in the comments. Do let me know with the likes, and of course subscriptions to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow in the next video. I think tomorrow it's time for Meowcoin, so I'm going to make a video on Meowcoin tomorrow. I'll see you then. Have a fantastic Thursday. Peace.